Now, wait a minute, Fitz, you...
Turn your dial. There it is.
Hi folks, and welcome to an all-new episode of Backlot Spaceport. At least the second episode of our new segment, Retro Theater. Tonight we're doing Land of the Giants. That's right, 1978, those 14, 15, and 16-year-old kids got together to do one of my favorite shows of all time, Land of the Giants. Now, it's kind of fitting that we're here because a little over 10 years ago I started Backlot Spaceport, the tour segment, and the first prop that I toured was the Spindrift. It's great to be home. You really can go home again, can't you? Now, even though we're going to kick off this movie tonight, and we're really excited about this one, when I did Backlot Spaceport for the first time, there was no HD, and the images are a little blurry, and you can't really see the details. So this is our chance to kind of check it out real quick. What do you say we take a stroll? Come on. Yep, this is exactly how I left her. Of course, I think I left the power on, so the solar batteries are probably running down, but hopefully this thing is charging itself, huh? Anyway, let's go inside and check a couple of things out. We're going to save the cockpit for last because there's a great monitor in there we can watch the movie. So let's hit the passenger compartment now. Some of the coolest members of the cast stayed in here, and 6 seats for passengers and 1 crewman. Betty Hamilton is our flight attendant, who not only had to supply morale, but coffee. She gets that from the galley on this side, and of course the famous radio room on the other side. Ah, the radio room. Another one of my favorite rooms on the ship. There's the radio rangefinder. You got various computers in here. This is the most powerful radio transmitter in the world. That's right, you can communicate with people from other time zones, other time periods, other planets, usually with the help of a space pod, but that's a story for another time. Let's go check out the engine room. Welcome to the engine room. This is the Delta device. Now, we're not going to turn that thing on because every time you do, everything goes to heck. Over here on the other wall, you can charge the radios and the torch rifle. Now, these are important pieces of equipment when you're trying to survive in the Land of the Giants. One other thing. Ah, yes, the fuel regulator pump. This channels your fuel into your engines. It's also a great place to sabotage the ship, just in case you go back in time and you want to stop the flight from lifting off in the first place. Problem is, you wouldn't have a TV show. And finally, the cockpit, my favorite room in the ship. A lot of great stuff in here. From the beta control system to the red telephone, all sorts of stuff to talk about, but we have very little time. Over here on the monitor is a great place to show off what I think is a very cool little film. These kids in 1978 put together a Land of the Giants film. Didn't quite have the technology, but lots of forced perspective and some pretty good acting and pretty good action sequences from my fellow classmates at school. With a cast of several and not a lot of money, did a pretty good job. So I present, for the first time in, oh my gosh, 40-something years, Land of the Giants.
Do you read me? This is Flight 612 to London Control A. We've hit a solar turbulence area and it's jamming your radio band.
Can I get you a Fantastic Films? How about a Starlog? A Starlog?
It's getting rougher by the minute.
What's that thing out there, ma'am? I don't know what it is.
It's drawing us in like a magnet.
Maybe we'd better go out to see where we are.
Betty, keep them happy till we get back.
Would you like another Starlog? How about a fantastic
All
film?
my life I've been the best judge of what's good for me, and I'm not about to change.
Feet and there's still buildings all around us.
It just can't be.
What are you doing? We can't level off. Can't get back in orbit.
Look for yourself. We don't have the reserve power.
I don't believe a word of it. That's your privilege.
What I told you is true.
So what's your price for getting me to London in half an hour? Captain Burton told us it's true. Spare me the fairy tale.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wilson.
Well, sorry isn't good enough. Okay, let's get to the bottom line. Why don't you just go pass out some chewing gum?
I'll call in every 15 minutes.
Tragic. The last hope of our two friends undoubtedly perished.
We are not leaving here without Captain Burton. Now, do I make myself clear? We're going out to bring back Steve.
Or die in the attempt.
Steve! Am I glad to see you too?
Hurry.
Come back! Come back! Come back!
Can't go on? From now on, that's just the way it's going to be in this world.